Hey, how are you? Today we're going to be talking about personal brand and how that's actually going to be the reason you're going to 10x your manifesting, and you're going to speed up that process, and it's just going to be more fun and more enjoyable, and yeah, it's going to be dope. So glad that you're here. Another whiteboard video, as we always enjoy. Leave your notes down in the comments. Let me know what you're getting out of these. That's what's going to help you really double click on this stuff, learn it, internalize it, actually know it, so that you can understand it and actually implement this and reap the benefits in your life. Okay, so this is kind of like an interesting concept, right? Personal brand. What exactly is a personal brand? How is that actually going to affect your manifesting? Because that seems contrary to what a lot of people believe and say these days. They're just like, hey, manifesting is just about sitting and relaxing and letting go, and it's all going to come to you. Well, here on this YouTube channel and our Skool community that has nearly 800 members now, we seem to think a little bit differently, and that's why students in our free Skool community are popping out 3K sales like it's nothing, right? So it's a bit different, and that's what we're going to be talking about here on this video. So let's get into it. We always have some fun with these guys. We like the soothing sound effects of the whiteboard, so just let that sink in for a moment. Let me know what you guys are excited about today. Bring some energy. Let's have some fun here, and let's bring the heat as I'm wiping down. This is always a great time to leave your notes, share your insights, whatever's going on, and rock and roll. And we always talk about this stuff, so I usually release a couple YouTube videos a week. In fact, usually like 3 or 4. And then we tend to talk about those type of things on our Skool community, on our live calls on Thursdays. So if you're not already in there, get your booty in there and let's talk about some cool stuff, okay? So let's talk about manifesting and what actually that is. A lot of people think that it's taking things out of thin air and bringing them into the reality. And that is a byproduct, right? That is actually the effect. And draw that out real quick. So here's the cause and then the effect. Most people think about manifestation as the effect. That's not the actual correct way that we look at manifestation. Manifestation really is the cause. So really, let me get fancy here and do a red marker. Manifesting is the internal shift where you're no longer emotionally reactive to your So manifesting, again, is the internal shift here where you are no longer emotionally dependent and reactive on your external environment, right? That's a little bit backwards of what a lot of people teach, but there's so much misinformation going along inside of the law of attraction, manifestation, reality creation, whatever you want to call it, spiritual world. There's so much misinformation, and that's kind of why it peeves me a little bit, and I feel like a lot of people stay stuck in this industry, and they just say like, oh, just let it come, and there's a bunch of broke hippies, right? Sorry to use foul language. Don't mean anything about that, but that is kind of what happens, right? And abundance is your birthright. That's what you are created for. And it's just society and all these other clowns out there that are telling you, no, it's like, it's spiritual to not have money. That's absolutely ridiculous, right? That's what's different here. That's what's different about magnetic manifesting, and that's what we're all about here in this Skool community. So, give me one sec. I was just going to close this door. So, now that we have a good understanding of what actually manifesting is, how is your personal brand going to actually help you with that? Okay, so let's dive into that. But let me know the download that you've had from even that. And again, these are great times as I'm wiping down the board. This is when it's a great time to share your insights, share your thoughts, share your notes, so that other people can get benefit from your realizations, and it can seep deeper and deeper into that subconscious. Therefore, you're knowing it better. Therefore, you actually can implement and utilize it, because then it becomes part of you rather than you have to recall the information, which takes a lot of brain power and energy. So the more innate that you can get this, the more you make it literally part of your DNA. It becomes a part of you and it becomes second nature. And that's when everything flows, because that's more of in alignment with the law of, law of least effort, and the book 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. We did a book review on that, so I encourage you to go check that out. One of the best books on this planet in terms of just understanding the world. So let's talk about personal brand real quick. And what I like to explain this as, it's what okay. A brand, personal brand, is what people are saying about you when you're not there, right? So it's essentially having a bunch of silent sellers for you. And that's a very leveraged way to live your life, right? If you have, and it goes either way, right? You could have a personal brand that's not ideal, where people are saying you're a terrible human being. But it could also be the other way. People are saying you're amazing, you're great at business, you're a loving, kind person, you're the person that everyone needs to know, you're the person that runs great YouTube ads, you're the person that throws great events, you're the person that is a great swimmer, whatever it is, right? But if we're talking about manifesting, and a big component of manifesting is being intentional with what you want. And if you are intentional with what you want, let's say you want to build $1 million business, if you have a bunch of people that are silent sellers for you, that are telling everybody about you, that are bringing a bunch of more traffic and people to you, that's probably going to be helping you. That are all people that know you and know your vision, and sharing like, hey, that's the guy that's building $1 million brand and he helps these people with XYZ. If you have a bunch of people that are telling people about you, that's really powerful, right? That would help you actually manifest that abundance that you desire within your business, which is what happens a lot with our accelerator clients. And that's why we teach this type of stuff. And this is more on the woo, this is all on the do side. So we have a thing, if you're new here, called the Woo plus Do framework, right? So it's kind of a spectrum where it's woo over here, do over here. And like this is the more of the internal work. The meditation, the nervous system regulation, mindset, whatever you want to call it. And then this is more of the external. This is systems. This is brand. Relationships, etc. So brand is much more on the do side. It's right here. Okay? So when we do all the internal work, that's great. But when you just sit there, like, yes, you can manifest things. I've had crazy things that have manifested just by me being in alignment, right? But here, why we do the woo and do framework is because this actually increases the probability that your manifestations happen, and it increases the speed at which they happen as well, right? So when we can leverage the do as well as the woo, it's just like this superpower that amplifies everything. So again, coming back to what we're talking about with brand, and what it is what people are saying about you when you're not there. But it's also the feeling that you give people. And when you give people a certain feeling, if it's a good feeling, people want to be around that. They want to have good experiences. And because of that, they're going to be more gravitated towards you. So it's basically like you're being magnetic within yourself. You have the internal dialed in. You're a very authentic person. You're living in your truth. That's a very high frequency. Right, that's amazing. And that's essential. You have to do that. You have to get aligned and you have to live in your truth, because that way people are going to be magnetized to you. But then from there, it's about building out a personal brand, because basically a personal brand amplifies it all, right? Which just increases the speed. It increases the probability that all these things happen in a quicker fashion, right? So essentially, we're hyperdriving it. We're putting the NOS in the fuel injection and just going bam, let's get to it, right? And that's why a lot of our clients, they go from 7 figures to mid 8 figures in their company. We have clients that were stuck at 10K for months, and then we do our woo and do framework, and all of a sudden they hit 56K in 30 days, and then eventually go on to hit 100K months. And I go on and on about all the case studies and testimonials, but it's because of the confidence in the person that they become, right? And so next point that I really want to explain is why this will take you out of scarcity if you're experiencing any of that, any doubt, any worry, any not feeling good enough. If you really implement this stuff that I'm going to share with you right now about personal brand, it's going to help you get out of any type of scarcity or doubt or fear at a very quick rate, because that's one of the biggest reasons that people have challenges with manifesting, is they get stuck into fear, scarcity, and lack, and doubt, and insecurities. Right? Which is okay, because we're human, and that's part of the human experience. But the more that you get stuck in that, the more that you stay in that, the more that you get stuck in the things that you don't want to be at. Okay? So let's talk about that really quick. Okay, let's talk about scarcity versus abundance creation, right? Like what I was just talking about. It's about getting internal, and it's about understanding and having a framework and diving deep into the fact that everything is happening exactly the way it's supposed to, right? A quote that I absolutely love is that it couldn't have happened any other way. And when we really have that understanding, you don't get succumbed by the external as much. Right? And once you, again, coming back to our definition of manifesting, it is the internal shift to where you are no longer emotionally reactive to your external. Right? So if you can really get there, and when you do get there, that's when you are truly free. When you can get to the point when you literally have $0 in your bank account and you have no leads, you have no bit, you have nothing, but you still have internal peace, that's when you are free. Right? That's essentially when you are enlightened. And that's why we use abundance creation to help us get there, right? And so what abundance creation is in the external. Think about it like this. Let's think about it like a river. Okay, this looks like a flowing river, right? Maybe it's even bigger than that. Damn, I feel like that's a pretty cool looking river. Wasn't expecting that. Right, so it's flowing, right? There's a lot of water, it's going, there's a lot of shifting, there's a lot of movement. Right? Where there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of things that can happen and go and flow. And this is where people are at their best, when there's a lot of motion, where things are going and they can flow, right? But here's what happens when you get scarce, is that, we'll just say, this dries up. And it's a dry riverbed. There's not much flowing. There's not much going. There's no way for things to move and evolve and take shape. That's what happens with scarcity And this is literally the thing. The more that you get stuck in scarcity, the more scarcity is attracted to you. And the more scarcity is attracted to you, the more that you live in scarcity. And it's basically like this, where you're just constantly spiraling down. However, if you can do what I'm just going to teach you here in a second, is what's called abundance creation, that's when you can spiral up. And you're leveraging the external to help you get to the place where you're truly free and grounded and no longer emotionally reactive to the external. Okay? So let's put this in a little bit more context in terms of business. What's coming to you guys right now? Let me know in the comments. But this is a really powerful concept, because for me, when I don't have flow going in my life, I'm very stagnant. I'm at a stinky pond, right? And I feel that when I don't have momentum flowing, when I don't have relationships building, when I don't have leads coming into my business, I feel very, very stagnant. And that's most the case. Is like a lot of people that come into our coaching program are coaches, and they're business owners, and they're entrepreneurs. And sometimes it's people that are already crushing and doing 7 figures, and they just need a few small tweaks internally. We help them remove the subconscious blocks, get clear on their vision, help them develop a true level of trust and faith, and then they skyrocket. And then there's some other business owners that need a little help with their branding, on helping build and nurture quality relationships, how to generate leads inside of their business. And because of that, if they don't have that, they're feeling very stuck. They're feeling like in a stagnant pond. Just like, I was talking about the river, it's flowing, things are going. But when you're in a stagnant, stinky pond, it feels stuck, right? So that's what abundance creation is. It's called AC. Two leads a day inside of your business could be the thing that makes or breaks you, right? Because a lot of the people that we talk with that are interested in what we offer inside of our accelerator program, they're like, oh my gosh, like they're great teachers, they're great business owners, they're great coaches, whatever, like they're great agency owners. But if they don't know how to get clients, they don't know how to generate leads, like 2 leads a day could be a huge breakthrough. Right? And so we do that by a few different ways, right? Is that we actually become an abundant person internally. As well as externally. And ultimately, it's about attracting relationships in and nurturing relationships. And that's what we're talking about right here. Okay? Obviously, there's a huge component of this, and we've already talked a lot about the woo stuff, but we'll get into like the woo side of this abundant creation. But what I want to talk about is the external, building and nurturing relationships. Because if you just had a few, and I say leads, but if you had 2 new relationships coming into your life every single day, things would look drastically different inside of your life, inside of your business. A lot of people don't have community. They don't have people that they can, invite to events. That if they're throwing events, they have trouble getting people to their events. If they, have YouTube videos, they have trouble people getting to their YouTube videos. If they have, an Instagram channel, they have trouble people getting there. If they have a business, then they have trouble getting people there. But if they just had more people to communicate with and talk with, life will look completely different, right? So it's about building up the skill of what I always like to call is brand, which is just attracting nurturing it's attracting and nurturing relationships. And so the cool part about this is that we can do this on and offline, right? It's just people. That's what it is. And I think that's what's the interesting part about a lot of this. A lot of people think that, it's like, oh, content creation, I got to generate leads. And it's just like, bro, it's just people, right? So at the end of the day, it's about going where people are, knowing the type of people that you want to attract in, and then just having a strategy for actually nurturing them. Okay? So think about that. I'm going to wipe this down real quick again. And we're going to close out on this. But there's a few steps, right? Number one, you want to identify. You want to identify who are the people that you want to attract into your life. If it's for your business, first of all, it's getting clear on the type of people that you don't want. You don't want people that are making less than $10,000 a month in their business. You don't want people that are homeless, right? You don't want people that are negative, whatever it is. And then you just flip it. You use what we like to call inversion. You figure out everything that you don't want. You want to identify the things that you don't want, the people you don't want to attract. And again, this can relate to whatever. If you're building friendships, relationships, this could be for dating, this could be for intimate relationships, this could be for business, but it's all about right here is identifying. And you first identify what you don't want, so then therefore you know what you do want, right? And then from there, once you identify what the type of people that you do want to attract in your life, you go and you frequent watering holes. Okay? Where are they hanging out? So if you know that you want to go attract a bunch of entrepreneurs, you could go to entrepreneur events. They happen all the time in person. You could also go to Instagram pages that are people that have an audience of your type of people that you want to attract. And that's why we always recommend inside of our Skool Community and our accelerated courses, you put together what's called your Dream 100 of all the people that have the audiences that have your clientele. And again, I'm just speaking in business terms because that's what a lot of people come to us for, right? But you go and frequent those places, whether that's in person, so you go to networking events or marketing circles, or you can just go to Instagram, you can go to YouTube, like there's all different sorts of places you can go. But the key is you frequent them. You keep going to them. You keep generating leads and you keep starting conversations. And then 3, you find challenges in those people and then you help them. And I made a few different Instagram posts about this whole concept, is that when I'm in conversations with people, I'm starting conversations. Again, whether that's Instagram, whether that's Facebook, wherever, or I go to events, I'm usually asking the question, what's the current challenge that you're facing right now? And when they tell me what challenges they're facing, in my mind, I'm taking note of that, and sometimes I'll even write it down. And then I just say, hey, I'm gonna help them. I'm gonna figure out a way how I can help them. It usually comes from me connecting them with somebody else. So becoming a powerful connector is really, really valuable. Okay? So that's kind of the breakdown of why building your brand is going to elevate your manifestations, because when you have people and you have a whole circle, and what I'm getting at, I'll just kind of tease this real quick because this is kind of into the video, but like when you just have a plethora of people that you're helping and you're just constantly helping over and over and over again, and you keep on bringing more people in your life, you keep on nurturing those relationships by continuing to help them, all of a sudden you have this army of people that want to help you because it's the law of reciprocity. People want to help people that help them, right? So if you have a huge old network of a bunch of people and you continually follow up and they, follow you on Instagram or YouTube and all that, that's a way that you can follow up with those people, just like what I'm doing right here. A lot of the people that watch these videos are people that already have been engaged in my content, but I'm always getting more people into my content. I'm engaging them. The more they watch my stuff, I'm helping them. And then they're more likely to actually want to be inside of our school group, more likely to actually want to come join our coaching programs. So, and then I have just a bunch of people in my network as a whole that just know, like, and trust me. Even if they'll never do business with me, and maybe they'll never even talk about me. But if at any point someone asks them about me, then they're going to say something good, usually. if that's the case. But it's like I have more people that say nice things about me than not. There's always going to be people that don't, but that just is what it is. But when you have a lot of people in your network that are saying good things about you, you can instantly manifest things quicker, because now you even have a network where you can ask people to help you with your manifestations. Powerful, powerful stuff, but it all comes from that internal shift first, being authentic to who you truly are. And then from there, people are gravitated towards it. And then you just get a little bit more strategic on your brand by identifying the people you want in your life, in your circles. You go and frequent to those places, you find their challenges, and then you help them. So I trust that made a lot of sense. Again, I encourage you to go check out that video on the 7 spiritual laws of success. And also go check out that other video we did a whiteboard talking about the Woo-and-Do framework. And if you guys have any questions about our accelerator program, want to learn more about that, I have a video down on the first pinned comment. It'll take you through a video that walks you through exact framework of the Woo-and-Do framework. And you can book a call too if you really want to take the next step and become the best version of yourself, so that you can raise your frequency, remove those subconscious blocks, build a brand so that you can truly, be the best version of yourself and grow your business to where you really want to go. That's what a lot of people come to us for. So appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next video.